We are live, Your Honor.
Good evening. The meeting of the City Council will come to order. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let the record show that all council members are present this evening. Our first item is presentations, and this is where we have the opportunity to introduce new employees to the City of Newark. If Angela Sway would join me up here, please. Ladies and gentlemen, Angela Sway has over 20 years of public sector experience specializing in economic development for cities throughout Northern California. She has extensive experience developing and fostering economic vitality through business development of traditional core industries and cultivating startups and small businesses in an entrepreneurial. Who wrote this? That's going to be a great Scrabble word if I ever heard that many letters. She specializes in creating and implementing innovative ideas and partnerships. Prior to joining the City of Newark, Angela served as the Economic Development Manager for the City of Walnut Creek, strengthening and diversifying its local economy, as well as serving as the Economic Development Manager for the City of Cupertino for over 8 years, leading the economic development efforts. Additionally, she supported the economic development efforts for a number of other California cities, including Pacific Grove, Menlo Park, as a senior advisor with HDL Companies. Angela is an accredited California economic developer and has a Bachelor of Arts degree in political science from the University of California. Go Berkeley. She has finished her pre-licensing real estate coursework and completed various leadership and management training courses, including graduating from the Contra Costa Local Government Leadership Academy. Angela enjoys exercising, traveling, reading, and taking in sweets to satisfy her sweet tooth. So please join me in welcoming Angela to the City of Newark. As I read these resumes, it's just amazing to me the quality of the employees that we continue to bring into this organization. We're not talking about people that are starting off their careers. We're talking about people that have significant experience that we're going to be able to draw upon and make our city better. If I could have Narayan Krishnan, please join me. Narayan Krishnan was recently promoted to Senior IT Analyst. Thank goodness he sits right down the hall from me. Krishnan earned a Bachelor in Computer Science from Pennsylvania State University. After a long career as an individual contributor and later as a manager, mostly at Hewlett-Packard Labs, Krishnan returned to technical IT roles at Fremont Unified School District and the San Mateo County Office of Education. Early in his tenure at the City of Newark, Krishnan demonstrated his innovation and resourcefulness in resolving several long-standing data network issues while simplifying and documenting the network. His personal service has been recognized time and again by the management and staff of the police department. Krishnan is very engaged in internal and external meetings and offers suggestions to process improvements as group projects are discussed. Recently, he led the local effort to transition from the legacy telephony and career services vendor to a more maintainable setup, taking advantage of the transition to further improve the functionality and performance of the data network. A longtime resident of a nearby city, Krishnan splits his non-work time between enjoying the company of his grandchildren, helping with garden chores, traveling, and spending time with family and friends. And he's a proud resident of the city of Union City. Welcome, my friend. Does Christian get a police escort on his way home?
The IT dream team.
Missy Gallardo. Missy Gallardo. The next two employees are going to be really important to the city of Newark. When you think of public safety and the importance of our police department and fire departments, that first point of contact when people call 911 is our dispatch crew. And these next two employees are going to be dispatchers for the city of Newark, so welcome. I think they have a red phone in there when my calls come through. Missy Gallardo was hired as a public safety dispatcher on January 30th, 2024. Missy is a proud Newark native and a graduate of Newark Memorial High School. In 2018, she completed the Newark Police Department Citizens Police Academy, which deepened her commitment to community service. For 22 years, she managed her family's delivery business before her family made the very difficult decision to close the business during the COVID-19 pandemic. The transition time gave Missy the opportunity to pursue a career focused on serving the Newark community. Outside of work, Missy enjoys spending quality time with her family, traveling, attending concerts, and indulging in all things Disney. Welcome. Erica de Guzman Quintero. Erica de Guzman Quintero was hired as a public safety dispatcher on August 5, 2024. Erica grew up in Oakland and lived in Guam for a period as her father served in the U.S. Navy. Tell your father we appreciate his service to our country. Erica graduated from Arroyo High School. After high school, Erica attended both Laney and Chabot colleges. She obtained her cosmetology license from Fremont Beauty College. Erica's previously worked for the city of San Leandro in the building division, where she processed building and fire permits for residential, industrial, and commercial properties. In her free time, Erica enjoys spending time with her family and Yorkie Kiwi. That big? She also enjoys babysitting her niece and nephew and is happy to babysit the mayor's grandchildren when needed. I did not add that. That is here. It's in the script. Babysitting nieces and nephew, traveling, listening to audiobooks, working out, trying new restaurants, coffee shops, and making floral arrangements. Really artistic talent. Welcome. The next item, ladies and gentlemen, is public comment. This is an opportunity for the public to speak on any item that is not listed on the agenda. Would anyone in the audience like to speak? Please come forward. And if you could provide your name for the record, that'd be great.
My name is Catherine Faraji.
Hi, Catherine.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, and staff. I am a ninth grader at Newark Memorial High School. I came here today to voice my support for a stronger tobacco retailer licensing ordinance in Newark, which would include banning flavored hookah and vapes with no exemptions. I am aware that the city is working on an ordinance, but I am asking that it is as strong as possible to protect the youth. Other cities in Alameda County have passed tobacco retail ordinances, which have ended the sale of all flavored tobacco products with no exemptions. It would benefit Newark residents to join the communities around us and protect youth by reducing access to these addictive products. To begin with, flavored tobacco products are highly popular among teenagers. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, 4 out of 5 youth smokers start with the flavored tobacco product. Flavors are designed to appeal to youth users by masking the harshness of tobacco. For this reason, all flavors, including menthol, must be included in the ordinance. Flavored vapes and e-cigarettes are a big problem with teens in Newark. At the middle school, I witnessed my peers and classmates cutting class to smoke in the bathrooms during instructional time. School administrators attempted to control this issue by limiting the amount of open bathrooms on campus. Then, when I would walk across the campus to go to the only open bathroom, I would still be greeted by a cloud of smoke in my face. Additionally, some of the students are already so addicted that they feel the need to use e-cigarettes in the classroom during class time. When this happens, school administrators pause the lesson and search each student. This is a disruption to the class and is unfair to other students. Furthermore, the presence of flavored tobacco products in our community increases existing health disparities. Studies show that these products are more frequently marketed in low-income and minority neighborhoods, contributing to higher rates of tobacco use and related health issues in these vulnerable populations. By failing to regulate all flavored tobacco and e-vapes, Newark will continue to widen the gap in health inequity and maintain a cycle of disease and disadvantage. An ordinance is only as strong as its enforcement. Making sure that there is at least one annual compliance check in the city's TRL ordinance ensures that it is effective in reducing tobacco product access for Newark residents. At least one tobacco sales inspection and one youth decoy operation annually per store will ensure that retailers are held accountable to comply with the law and not sell to minors. I am asking that you approve a strong TRL ordinance that bans the sale of all flavored tobacco products with no exemptions, including hookah and non-flavored vapes when it is time to vote. Our city needs to align with the rest of Alameda County to protect the youth from the harms of tobacco. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Other speakers, please. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Renata Faraggi. I'm a Newark resident, mother of a middle schooler, a high schooler, Newark Middle School parent, teacher, and student association board member, and a registered nurse working with asthma and allergy patients. I'm coming here today to ask you to ban all vapes in Newark. Over the past few years, the use of tobacco vapes has increased dramatically among the middle school and high school students. Youth access to tobacco is a problem in Newark. According to the 2022-23 California Healthy Kids Survey results from Newark Unified School District, nearly 3 in 4 12th graders believe obtaining vapes is easy. And 12% of the 11th graders and 26% of non-traditional students report having vaped nicotine. Vapes are much more effective at getting youth to start smoking than helping adults to quit. It is a myth that e-cigarettes are better than cigarettes. According to a recent comprehensive review study, which I will share in full length with the council in my follow-up email, and I quote, "The direct epidemiological evidence based on the actual use of e-cigarettes in the general population suggests that at least for cardiovascular disease, stroke, metabolic dysfunction, the odds of disease between current e-cigarette and cigarette use were similar. For asthma, COPD, and oral disease, although vapes are lower than the cigarettes, the odds of disease were still substantial. Also, vapes are toxic to the environment and have batteries that are flammable and need to be properly disposed of. Vape pods, e-juice containers, and cartridges are toxic even if emptied. This puts burden on local hazardous waste management to help with proper disposal of the devices. Most importantly, the majority of people don't realize vaping devices are hazardous and they throw them into regular garbage. So I'm asking for Newark to join other cities in Alameda County, such as Union City, Emeryville, Dublin, Hayward, and Pleasanton, who have banned all vapes without exceptions. It's time to put people's health above corporate profits. Thank you for doing what's best for the people of Newark.
Thank you. Other speakers? Mr. Benoon, just a clarification, if I may. The tobacco retail license ordinance will be coming to the city council for review and discussion on, do we have a date at this point?
There we go. Good evening, Your Honor, members of the council. Staff has has conducted a few stakeholder meetings, including the retail licensees. Staff has drafted an ordinance, and we are preparing that for consideration and presentation to the council at a council meeting in October, potentially as early as October 10th. So if I may just briefly speak to the speaker.
Yes.
Unfortunately, state law prohibits the council from speaking on items that do not appear on the agenda. So I don't want you to interpret their silence on this issue as some sort of disinterest in your very important concerns. So just unfortunately, state law prohibits them from making any comments on items not on the agenda. But this item will appear on the agenda as potentially as early as 2 weeks. If you could speak to our Community Development Director, Mr. Stephen Turner. He's right here. And if you could provide him with your contact information, he'd be happy to put you in touch with our Community Preservation Manager and make sure that you're on the list for when we do put this before the council for consideration.
Thank you, Mr. Benoon. And I would also further ask that if you have a copy of the what you read, Catherine, to give a copy to Mr. Turner as well, so that as we look at the ordinance, we can at least look at whether or not the issues that you've raised are currently in the draft form. Thank you, Mr. Benoon. The next item is the consent calendar. The consent calendar on the agenda consists of the following. Are there any items that the council would like pulled from the consent calendar? Are there any items the audience would like pulled from the consent calendar? Staff, would you like to pull any items from the consent calendar?
Not this evening, Your Honor.
You thought I'd forget you, didn't you? I told my assistant over here to my left that I would not make any mistakes tonight. So the consent calendar consists of the following: the approval of audited demands, 2, approval of September 12, 2024 minutes, 3, second reading and adoption of an ordinance amending title or chapter 2.09 of the Newark Municipal Code, City Council members' compensation to increase the salaries of City Council members and the mayor. 4, adopt a resolution approving the contractual services agreement with Dell for the virtual server infrastructure lifecycle replacement and amending the 2024-2026 biennial budget and capital improvement plan. 5, adopt a resolution amending the conflict of interest code for non-elected officials and designated employees. 6, notification of city engineers pending decision on the final map and subdivision improvement agreement for tract 8583 Cedar Homes, Robeson Homes LLC, F38370 Cedar. Would someone like to move the items to be approved with any item approved by resolution or ordinance being numbered consecutively and that the reading of the title suffice for purposes of introduction or adoption of the ordinance?
So moved.
By Councilmember Collazo. By Vice Mayor Freitas. Please vote. And that passes unanimously.
Ordinance of the City Council of the City of Newark amending Chapter 2.09 City Council Members' Compensation of the City of the Newark Municipal Code to increase the salaries of City Council members and mayor by 6%.
There are no public hearings tonight. Mr. Benoon, do you have any announcements that you'd like to make?
Yes, one update. On September 26th, on Wednesday, October 2nd, from 12:30 to 2:30, we are hosting a National Coffee with a Cop event. This is at Starbucks on Cedar Boulevard. This is an informal gathering that will allow our residents to sit down over coffee with our officers to discuss community issues, ask questions, and share concerns in a relaxed environment. It also encourages dialogue on safety and crime prevention and ultimately strengthens community ties. Again, that is Wednesday, October 2nd, National Coffee with a Cop Day from 12:30 to 2:30 at Starbucks on Cedar Boulevard. So that's all I have this evening. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. City Council matters. I'll start to my right. Councilmember Jorgens. Thank you, my friend. Vice Mayor Freitas.
Yes, Your Honor, just two items. One is the congratulate again the Newark Day celebration of the 69th anniversary was very well attended, very well organized, and under the leadership of the new chair, Mr. Larry Cross. So congrats to her and to the entire committee and the volunteers. They did a fantastic job, along with the good weather we had and very well attended. And the second item, it's the, I understand last meeting of the council was the Newark Girls Softball League coming before us for a issue of to playing the next season, and they spoke before us on the public matters, but was, I guess, tabled to engage on the further meeting with under the city recreation service department of the city of Newark, along with other organizations. And I understand where the report was a very productive meeting, and another one to come. So kudos to everyone involved. And I understand Mrs. Ovak was the chairperson for that meeting, right? So,
Yeah, our Recreation and Community Services Director, Mr. Cuevas, led that meeting.
so kudos to everyone involved, and looks like it'll be a brighter future for the Little League to play next year. Thank you.
That might be the only baseball team in the Bay Area left.
Thank you.
I
Honor.
know. Councilmember Apodaca.
Actually, nothing, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Collazo.
Thank you, Your Honor. So you might ask yourself, why am I wearing my flowers and my embroidered shirt? Well, I will tell you why. Because we are celebrating Latin Heritage Month. And here I go. On September 15th, in Mexico, they celebrate El Grito, which is the kickoff to the Independence Day. It's the independence from Spain. But it's not only Mexico that's celebrating their independence. Costa Rica, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Honduras, Guatemala, they are also celebrating their independence. And we celebrate because we want, here in the United States, because we want to share our cultures. We want to communicate with everybody and share what we live, what we love, our colors, our music, our food. And here in the city, we have some very wonderful employees that have been doing some wonderful work. It's the Promotoras and Era Rivera, and I want to thank them for everything that they've done for our Latin community. They have been the bridge between our city and our Latin residents, serving as a resource center for their needs, for the citizens' needs. On top of that, they took over the Mariachi Festival this year, as I was not able to, and they did it all on their own. They handled everything. So I want to thank Era and the Promotoras for everything that they've done for the residents, for the city, and for the Mariachi Festival. And shop Newark.
Thank you, Councilmember Collazo. We just have a couple items. Mr. Benoon, I want to thank city staff, specifically Mr. Scanlon, who hosted a meeting last night for the community on the Climate Action Plan and sea level rise. The room was packed, as you can imagine. This is a significant issue for our community, and I thought Mr. Scanlon and the consultants that the city has hired did an outstanding job of introducing the item to the public. The question was raised whether or not there would just simply be 2 public meetings on this, and I assured the folks that were there, this is a long-term conversation that we're going to have in the city of Newark over many, many years. And it was really an opportunity to be able to introduce to our community that this is a priority for us. That we recognize the climate is in jeopardy, and that we are in an area where sea level rise is certainly of concern. So it's going to be a conversation we, this council, will have over the many years in the future, and we hope that with the mitigation efforts that we, the city, put forth, that when these situations occur, we'll see little to no damage to our community. So great job by Mr. Scanlon and the staff. I'm going to do something different tonight that I don't normally do, because that's what I do. We normally issue commendations to recognize outstanding businesses, outstanding employees, outstanding efforts, both students all the way up through our residents. Well, today I'm going to issue a condemnation. A condemnation. 56 years ago, the Oakland A's came to the Bay Area. I had the privilege of attending the first game in Oakland back in 1968. We lost to the Orioles 4-1. It's funny, 56 years later, you don't forget that we lost that opening game. The A's became a part of our community. Generations took their kids to A's games. We lived through world championships. We lived through teams that were really not that good, but we consistently supported our team over the decades. I met a citizen today who, when I approached her, she was crying. And I asked her, what's going on? She goes, the A's won 3-2, their last game in Oakland. It meant that much to her that the team was leaving that she was in tears. And I know a lot of my family members feel the same way, that we lost a significant part of our community. Remember, the A's players, when they came to Oakland, many of them lived in Newark. Many A's players lived in Newark. They became a part of our community. And for them to have to leave town because they have short-sighted ownership who doesn't consider the community and the best for the community is what's important. So for that reason, if I could issue a formal condemnation to the owner of the Oakland A's, I would do that this evening. That's all I have to say. We will be going into closed session after this meeting. Would anybody in the audience like to address the council before we address to closed session? The closed session meeting will now recess and go into closed session. The closed session for closed session pursuant to Government Code Section 54-957, Public Employee Performance Evaluation for the City Manager. This meeting is adjourned.